Qu'est-ce que tu? So I don't know if this is working, so I quickly have to check. Just a second, guys. So we'll start in a second. So after a long work here, I finally managed to see if this will work. Oh yeah, I see my live stream. That's fun, fancy. So this is quite good. This works. Flutter dev. So let's see if I can see it. Let's see if I can hear something. Oh, that looks good. Okay, cool. This seems to work. You can hear me. That's beautiful. So I can. Okay, so let's see. Change to the dev. What had we the last time? The last time we wanted to develop. Ah, that's wrong. Wrong thing. Just a second. Window. Here we go. You see, I already enhanced a bit um, the views this time, so it works quite well, and we can see our dev code now. And yeah, so what we want to do today was, because the last time I tried to fill it up and nothing worked, so today I want to show you how we can add a snack bar into our application. So what is a snack bar? If we go to the Flutter documentation, we can see that we have here, can you see that? No, I have to first do that. And so if we go to documentation, I don't see my changes here. That's a bit weird. Does it still work? Yeah. Yeah, cool. In widget catalog, if we look here for snack bar, I think I have to cancel that one out. So, okay, let's search for snack bar. And hopefully we will find this one in the cookbook. Here we have the scaffold and snack bar. And what it is more or less, if we press here, we will see that nice little bar down there. And this will affect as soon iOS as also Android. So do we have already in place? No, we don't have a snack bar so far, which is perfect. But what we have still here is our login page. So we can see our login page. That is a stateful widget. And now we want to, careful. So we have our login page, which is a stateful widget. And here inside, we implemented the build, which has the scaffold inside. And I think this to-do can be removed. And in that scaffold, we have now icon buttons. And if we press it, we handle the sign in. And inside the sign-in, we are connecting to the Google service. In that case, this is Google sign-in service, and we take our Google sign-in. As you can see, we get back a future of a Firebase user, and this Firebase user will be then logged in. So let's start the app just to see if everything works as expected. So I press that little nice green button here in Android Studio, and we will see that the main Dart is running now in the Android SDK. Cool. Please enter. Cool. We have here the validation already in place, so that's already done. We have the email address and the password. And now we want to show whenever we have this data are valid or invalid, we want to show something. So, but I found last time a problem that because we are currently inside of the scaffold, we will have a problem with the snack bar itself. So if I try to execute here something like snack bar, and does it work like that? Just a second. Let's look here into that. So here we have the snack bar page, and on pressed, it creates a snack bar with a content and an action. I think we don't need an action, we just need the content because we want to display if someone is logged in or not. So let me test if we manage that. So in our development environment, we have here that on pressed, here we have that final snack bar, which is a snack bar with content, which is a text. And now I have to think, let's do it this way, and say if current state is valid on pressed off login, we want to have that snack bar equals snack bar with a content. But this is not where I want to have it. I want to have it usually where I also get my user back. Short second, somehow currently a problem. Okay, here we go. Okay, so register, no, it is here on pressed. And if we press it, then the data are valid is one print or data are invalid. We want to log in at that point. So this is why I'm confused. So what we want to execute here is handle, in that case, handle sign in. The best thing would be if we handle the sign in with email at that point, and we pass over the email and the password as strings. So there comes the next problem. I see we don't have a controller yet. So our text form fields, we can't read the values out of them. We need for that currently controllers. And what controllers are, they give us the possibility to access the values of the text form fields. So in that case, we have an email controller, which we initialize in a second, especially as soon as my app is starting. As you can see, this is currently our app. So if I press on login, these both getting invalid, and we get the console error data are invalid. And now we want to create these controllers that we can read the information, right? So we need a field for that, which is an email controller. This is a text form control. Controller. What do we have? Text editing controller is the right one. Now I don't know. Yep, this way. And we need, of course, also a password controller, so that we can also read the password information. Email controller and password controller. Yep. Voila. So beautiful. And with that, we have now access to that controller from our, this is the padding, from our login button, from here. We can now say here in that case, like, because this handle sign in with email wants from us the, I should maybe comment that in. So we want to execute that one and we want to overgive the email address and the password. So we need to have the email controller dot text, which returns the new text. So if I press Control Q at that point, we see the current string the user is editing. So with that, we get the text back. Now this is read, 2 arguments expected, which is fine. So we have also the password controller dot text, and both together returned will lead to that what we want to achieve. So, and for that we can create we don't need to. That's fine. Because I made that underline, we should also make it final here in that case. I don't like to have public variables that we never change as something else declared than final. So because we don't change them, they are good like that. Okay, so we have our scaffold, and here our body with a form key, columns inside, nice and tidy. And what we could do that I find myself better inside of that whole thing, so you see, we have a column which contains all of these paddings, and every padding seems to be an own child for something. So what we can do, we could take that whole thing and create a new variable for it, like an email field. And then we have the email down up here, and we can call that down here too. So with that, we have the possibility to make our code base easier to read. So this is password field for now, and the last but not least, let's take this padding, which will be then our login control. And we have one left. This is the register control. Register control. And because all of them are widgets and returns widgets, because of that padding is a widget, right? So it returns a widget, as everything in Dart, or better in everything that is coming from Flutter. Everything is a widget itself. So with that, we have the possibility to make something like this and make our code easier readable. So, and with that, we could do now also some things like spaces in between, or if we search for a particular case, I can make a control left click to jump exactly to that position again. So we have that login control. We try to log in now. Okay, so let's test that. Test at test.de, and the password was password. And as you can see, we tried to begin batch edit. Okay, I didn't log in. Now we call the GMS and try to connect to our Firebase. And it seems that it was successful because we get the message, error, wrong password, the password is invalid, or the user does not have a password. And now the problem is, if I as a developer know it, that's beautiful. And the second thing is, what I don't like is that the validation don't get away. So if this is an error message, we want to handle that. And because we know that we get back from this handle sign in with email down here, a future of a Firebase user. A Firebase user is the object that we want at the end. So it has like information like, is the email verified? Do we have an ID token? We get the email address. We get everything from that Firebase user. And the future says we don't know the exact time in which we get the answer back from that handle sign in with email. And with that future, we have the possibility to access now that information. You can think about that future exactly like you think about promises in JavaScript. So because we get a promise here back, we can jump to that handle sign in, and we can now, you see, you have the methods then and catch error, and we can work with both of them. In the first place, we want to first take care of the error. We get back an error that we can't log in. And with that, we execute it. We say we get something back which looks like an error. And with that, we can execute that. Sorry, my JavaScript lambda expression is always with here, error. This should do the trick. Yes, so cool. Now we get that back that error, and now we want to call a snack bar, right? So snack bar with content on error dot message. Something like this. The method is not defined for the class login page state. Snack bar. Maybe I have to make a new snack bar. Maybe then he's happier. Undefined class snack bar. Do I have to import it? Nope. Okay, then let's look into the documentation of Flutter. What do we have here? We have Snackbar final. Then we call Snackbar, because I have a problem with the writing. So let's jump back into the code. It's snack bar. No, that's too much. Cool. So, and then we ask the error for the message. And this should be the error itself. And even better would be if this is the platform exception. Wrong. We have to write it in front. Platform exception or platform. Don't get the error. I have to make that beautiful, nice, cool. The question now for me, do I really need them? I thought lambda should work here. Maybe it's just one single error. Okay, weird. I have to jump back to the documentation to find out. I want to know lambda expression in Dart. How does it look like? Okay, Jai Tilu has a good idea for us. So let's see how we can work with it. Yeah, with a fat arrow. So that means, where is it? Int shows sum. Num plus. That's weird. We return it. Why? Okay, maybe it just don't work here like that. What is? Yeah, because I don't return something, right? Maybe that's why. Yeah, better. Okay, that makes much more sense. So I can remove that now. Still not? Undefined name error. Okay. Okay, like this he is happy. So that we can remove that. As you see, we get a bit more easy to read stuff here. And I think also this will be removed to an email field, and we can also remove that to a password field. With that, we get that also in one line. Beautiful. Okay, so what happens if we try to log in? Preparing to create service connection to GMS, and we get an error. And now unhandled exception type string is not a subtype of type widget. Okay, that's fascinating. It's not a subtype of type widget. That makes sense, I think. Yep. Login. Okay, it seems to be here wrong somewhere. Maybe I shouldn't do something like this. Should maybe just call that. Let's see how it turns out. No, also an error. Platform exception is not subtype of type widget. Type platform exception. And that was what I wanted to have. That is a platform exception. Import library. Yes, so we need that library. And with that, we get now finally linting on that error, which we say it's a message. Now it's getting still red. The argument type string cannot be assigned to parameter type widget. Okay, so maybe I shouldn't do something like new. And maybe I shouldn't return it. Maybe I'm not allowed. Maybe it's maybe I have to do something like this. because I wanted to do with the lambda a return statement, right? But now maybe I'm not allowed to do something like that. The argument type string can't be assigned the parameter type widget. Now, because there is no text surrounding it. I'm still not getting 100% used to that nice little syntax that I always have to put text around something. So, and with that, we can try once more to make a lambda out of it, which would be easier to read for me. Voila. And we go to the end and or sort everything fine and beautiful. And as you can see, we made it. We can call now that method. Now we have another problem. Cool. Return a valued closure. So error handler must accept one object and a stack trace. Okay. Error handler must accept one object or one object and a stack trace and return a valid result closure platform exception to Snackbar. This was the stack. Okay. Unhandled exception, platform exception. Okay. So maybe, as I said, I'm maybe not allowed to return something here. So let's get rid of that, create this. We have here that. What is wrong here? Set literals weren't supported until version 2.2, but this code must be able to run on earlier versions. Okay, beautiful. Ich wollte das hier, I wanted to remediate that. Just to see that if I don't return anything, that it's happy maybe. So there's the semicolon is missing, cool. And we log in again, and it struggles again. Okay, let's see if I remove that. Because he complains about the platform exception. Maybe I made a mistake there. Return GMS. Okay. Login. What's wrong? So no. Not interested anymore. Maybe I have to restart the app from time to time because I also integrated that new email handler. Let's see. We call the dependencies up. I'm talking here about code, and the whole time you see the monitor. I'm so sorry. Okay, what I did, I created the email field here and the password field, and I called that handle sign in with email function. And this function returns a future of Firebase user. And as I said, this returns me an promise that I can execute here with catch error and or I hope we have the other one, the then with it. And this then we will take the next. But first I want to check if I can call a snack bar and show the snack bar with that content here. So I restarted the app right now and try to access it up. So I did that now and press on first enter our test email, test@test.de, and with the password, and say login. So now there should be an error message, I hope. Return GMS. We call the service again. I clean that up for a sec. Nothing is happening. That's weird. Usually something should happen. Maybe I successfully logged in, so maybe I should first take the happy case. What happens with the user that I get? Then Firebase user. this. Then I call Snackbar with content text of user.email, just to see if it was successful at the end. Okay, and so with that, we have the possibility to call first then we catch the error, then we do the next, and so on. So we have the possibility to work around the whole thing. Okay, so email address is set, we log in, or we try to log in. Firebase API. Weird, somehow he don't want to do it right now. Don't know what's wrong. Hmm. So I changed the password for now and entered my test at test.de with the password. I try to log in once more. We see Android Studio Code. Oh, it failed. Nice. No such method. Class, no such method. Okay. What is that about? Has no instance getter of message. Okay, that's weird, I would say. Unhandled exception, no such method error. Class, no such method has no instance getter message. Comes directly after that. Okay. No such method. Oops, that is something different. I don't need Lockhead right now. Class, no such method. That's weird. So let's try to look into our browser. We find something. No such method. No, this is something else. This is Xcode. There's no instance. Okay. Item created. That looks weird. Okay, let's try it a different way. We said maybe we need a final snack bar up here. Yep, and we just say snack bar equals this. Snack bar equals this. And we of course don't say final because that wouldn't make no sense. So snack bar. But if I look into the into here, we see content snack bar on pressed. Just set it to something. Scaffold. Ah, this is missing. Guys, look at that. This is missing. Scaffold of context shows snack bar. This is missing. And now we are doing that. Exactly. Here we go. We get rid of that, and we get that, and we get rid of that. This is getting one higher. And we say, of course, final, and we say also here final. And what we also can do now is to put that inside, and this one here inside. Cool. And that makes it easier for us. So we call the scaffold and say it has the context of this, and then we want to show the snack bar, which we created right now. And of course, I forgot that completely, so that was the error. What happens now here? A legend, but this was that other error that I had. Let's show you first. Okay. Up. Go to the other view, nice and cozy, cool. So if I try to log in here, you see that there is an error, unhandled scaffold off, called with context. Let me make this one, and we see everything here, some bit better. Okay, unhandled exception, scaffold off called with a context that does not contain a scaffold. No scaffold ancestor could be found starting from the context that was passed to scaffold off. This usually happens when the context provided is from the stateful widget, as that host building function actually creates the scaffold widget. Okay, what does it mean? That means that we have here up down there, because we have it on the bottom, I think, here. This column, this form, and so on, lives inside the scaffold. And he complains now about this because the context needs to be inside of that. So what we can do about it is we can take that scaffold out into the main app. Let's get rid of that boilerplate here and do following. Instead of passing the login page in as is inside, we take that whole scaffold. For now, let that be red, and we replace it here. We take that away, and the whole body is the login page. And we are not allowed to delete all of that because we need this. Without the body, this. Because this will be the login page, I said. If I jump here inside, we have that build method with the email, password, login, register, and we return the form with all that information. So, and if I didn't make yet now any mistakes, we have made that this main Dart tries to access the handle sign-off of Google. We can't do that anymore currently. I needed to change that, but here we have the login page. So, and we don't have an action for now. And if we want to log in with Google, we will create our new control here, like login with Google service, something like that. We create that one, create a field for it. We can say var, yeah, why not? And say equals, let's create a button like we did already. I think we don't need a padding for that one. I usually think this is not necessary for it. As you can see, that button is anyway already there. What we need is a raised button. And this is here, login controller with services. And what we do now is we create a new raised button. And what we pass into is whatever we need, like on pressed, up, and a text, decoration, no, text, color, text theme, no, child, yeah, okay. We have a child with a text, which we call login with Google service. And on pressed, we try to access the handle sign in with this one, and we should rename that function because it doesn't sell, it gives us something, sign in with Google. I think that's quite better. Only static members can access an initialized object. Okay, cool. That means this var here, this part, needs to be inside our build function. So email, password, login, register. So let's put it here. And it expects, of course, a semicolon, which we will give him. And with that, we should see now in our hot reload. Can't hot reload because we have somewhere made a mistake. That's fine. Let's see, log a Dart after it. Okay, you will get also a semicolon. Beautiful, hot reload happened. And as you can see, we have a button, which is beautiful, ugly. We should add something to it. We need a color. Primary, no. Colors dot, no, not too much. Colors dot, let's make it blue with light blue for that. And maybe What do we have? Yeah. Do we have the possibility of shape, which give us the possibility to give them all possible of circle bounded. Let's try this one. Side. What happens here? Border side. Let's give them 10.0. Let's see what happens. Nothing. What do we have else here? Color, style. Okay, weird. Side, border side. Okay, anyway, I just tried something. This is how I usually learn new stuff, so don't care too much if I just do something like that. The only thing that I want to do is to change the text color, and I think that should be here in the text widget. If I want to change the style here, we should get a text style, and this one should have like a color itself, which will be white. Colors.white. And with that, our font should be white on that one. Cool, works. What would be cool maybe for the next iteration that we have also login the Google logo in front of it. That would be very nice. And I think for the login and register, we should also change something. But let's focus on what we wanted to do. Sorry, sometimes I do some weird stuff. So does it still work? I click on login with Google. We handle everything. We are coming to a weird site. I can choose an account from my side, and we should be logged in if everything works well. Yes, signed in with my name. Nice. So cool. Now we wanted to test the other thing. We wanted to sign in with email. We returned it, user, I hope. We shouldn't have waited. Should we wait for it? I'm not sure. I don't think so. We can just return that stuff, right? Shouldn't this do the trick? And I think we don't even have to wait, right? Because it is already a future. We just return that whole thing and just take it. Because, I mean, if we can, we resolve it ourselves. So if we go to handle, we see with that then and this catch error, we resolve that future. We don't want to wait till it is resolved for us. So let's go. We try to log in again. Test.test. Nah, that's a bit too much test. Test it is. .de and the password. Let's take a password like this. We try to access Firebase, and hey, here we get the email address is badly formatted. We get that error message directly from the error message itself. And there I want to have a platform exception because this is it. It is a platform exception. And with that, I really know that I have here a message. On the other hand, our then gives us back a Firebase user, which we can use then, which is very beautiful. So I don't think we have to even do that because we know that this then will return us whatever this returns us. But I don't know how it is with that error. Does it understand that it is a platform exception? No, it doesn't. You see, message is not found as a declaration. So we have to say this is a platform exception. Where do we find it if this is something else or a platform exception? So let's go to that handle sign in with email address back. And here we call that sign in with email and password. And if we jump inside here, we should see somewhere what we return. And we return inside of that sign in with credential. So if I jump here, we see future Firebase. So this returns us that future. Beautiful. But what happens as an error? It's a good question. Or is an error of an async of a future always platform exception? We have here errors. Yeah, it could be. That could be. So it seems that we have automatically, as with that future, always a platform exception if we don't throw it manually. Future bool. So do we have here the platform exception? No. Okay, if you know it, please let me know where exactly I can find that this is a platform exception and nothing else. That would be great. Somehow this looks weird. Maybe I need to add more columns here. Then it looks a bit better. Yep, that helps a lot, I think. So because everything in Dart, you can just add this nice little things, and with that it tries to separate that more, which makes it quite beautiful then. Okay, so our login button shows now a snack bar. Isn't it great? Done it, nailed it. Cool. Oh, we found a bug. We tried to, the following argument was thrown platform exception null. So this doesn't work, it seems. We have to make it as error. And now he's happy. Yeah, email address is badly formatted. Okay, I just don't get it why he can't expect that exception maybe. If I just give him an exception. It doesn't work with that. The platform exception you don't want to work, right? Now it works again. No, I have to hot reload maybe. Yeah, now it fails. Okay, that's weird. Unhandled exception platform. The email address is badly formatted. Okay. Must accept one object or one object and a stack trace as arguments and return a valid result closure. Platform exception to null. Yeah, which we are doing because we are don't returning anything, so it will be null. Also here, but what I don't get is that this one is not a platform exception. Can I catch any exception? Then he don't want to, right? Also here I don't get a message. It's weird. So how do I... Let's check in the API if we find something. So platform exception. No, Flutter handle future on error. A guide using Flutter for beginners. Dane McKeer posted this. Okay. Define the future. So on error. Let's see what he did. He also not typed it. He just take the error. On error, catch error, error. That's sad somehow. Because not helpful for me. I hope that I can type the error. As a Flutter catch error method future class. Let's see if we find something. Object error. It is an object. Function on error. Bool test object error. The function usually is checked. Oh, that's a good point. I could go inside of our part and I can just look in that catch error. Dynamic future object error. Maybe I have to force it into something like platform exception. No? Nah, doesn't work because then I have to return something. That's so weird. Okay. Error as platform exception. Avoid unnecessary statements. Nah, that's bad. Catch error handle platform exception. Let's see how it turns out. Ah, here we go. I'm not the only one. Nice. On platform exception catch E. Ah, okay. That doesn't seem right, I hope. I think my upcoming patch will address this. Okay. Someone is working on it. Try await on this. Return 0. Catch error. Return error. So I can disable. Could find any solution to this. Any updates on this? This issue is closed. Okay. And why? Fixes error handling. Okay. And how does it do it? Could you check on this? May. Okay. Things changed also. It's breaking. Okay. So they are still on work. Complete, question mark, close, open, Firebase out, 67067. I don't show it again. So what I did is I was jumping around the Flutter repository, and I found that Slidefoot from the Flutter team created more or less a PR for it, and everything's closed, and it seemed to be merged, but I don't really get what it helps me with that, because the question sticks the same. How do I handle that? I don't want to try catch. That's like super ugly. Future catch error is error prone. Must include, So with that, we have to include that. Flutter unable to catch platform while attempting. Try add catch error on sign in future. Didn't work, unfortunately. I had the same problems. Show as. Maybe this is not the right error that I try to address here. So if this is a platform exception, it needs to maybe come from platform exception. Maybe this comes from another library. No. Let's see. Let's try it again. Pop. Okay, error. The error handler must accept one-on-one closure. Maybe I found something with the search of that error file, error name. Stackable, what is wrong with Dart error handler? Okay, exception error. Oh wow, okay, you can't limit to exception here. Dart can throw all kinds of errors. Okay, that means this one is an error object. Cool. So if this is an object, I have to do something like if error dot type off or something. Type off type. Can I check the type somehow? That's a good question. Dart check type. Runtime checking. Okay. If foo is foo, then okay, cool. That means what I can do, I can be here, and what I can do here is if error is platform exception, then do whatever you want. And then message is also hard readable. Amazing. So with that in mind, I should be able to log in and get an email address error. Beautiful. So now let's change that password to something readable, login, and what we see now, the email address is badly formatted because we have a space behind. Hey, we logged in with our email address. Nice. So we get that content finally. So here's nothing else than the user is logged in. Or welcome user. Better would be if we say not user email, we say, first of all, we do something like this with the string interpolation. It's a bit nicer. So user.displayname. So if the user has a display name, it should be visible. So login. Welcome null. We don't have a display name, which is also fine. Cool. So finally I made that. Sorry that it took that long, but this is always what I'm searching for, that nice little tricks with that platform exception, for example, or anything like that. And with that, we have always a bit possibilities to work around. So with that, I think we can also get rid of that object here. And that should make it also a bit more better to read, easier to handle. Nice. Good. So we have a rise button there who can log us in with snack bars. Presentation of snack bars. So we have here still a to-do. We want to navigate to a next page. Next page, right? And here we have the to-do that we want to. Do we have a to-do? No, not really. We just want to show the message, which is fine already. The same thing for login with Google services, right? We have the login control, and we have the register control and the login. And here, if we press it, we handle that. Now we have the same thing. We get a value maybe, which will be a user. If we have a user, we want to do user, and if we have a user, we want to show a snack bar. And we did that with snack bar, content, and we gave the welcome user name, and this should show us the user.display name. Why is it red? The argument string can't be assigned to parameter type widget. Beautiful. Why is that again? We had that already, I am very certain. Does he want to return it? No. How did we do it? Up there. Where is it? Login. Scaffold off. Jeez, what's wrong with me today? So scaffold show snack bar. This not good. Still not good. Okay, something is missing. Why is it complaining? Snack bar scaffold off context show snack bar. The P is a snack bar. Guys, this is of course a text, right? So much better. Cool. And we don't forget that we need also to catch the error, which is an error. And this leads to the same behavior up here. Oops, like up here. What I really don't like so far, what we have necessarily to refactor, is that part that we have now 4 times more or less the same code here, like that scaffold off. That's beautiful for once, but we want to make it more better. We have to think about that. And here we want to have the error.message visible. Here we need again that if case, error is platform exception. Beautiful. So now log in with Google. And we show welcome Max Weber. Nice. Cool. That is working. We have everything there where it should be. And with that, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry that you sometimes didn't see what I made. It's the first time with a setup of this, and let's see how it turns out in the future. Thank you. Until the next time. See ya.